Yeah, I think both of them being Navy men was the thing that guided me in. And so I thought, well, I'll just enlist. That'll be the thing that I do. And this guy wanted to go be a SEAL. After Naval Hospital Boot Camp, went to Butts and then just didn't make it. So I ended up not going. I ended up going back to the hospital. I think the division leading petty officer who was a SEAL was a little bit fond of me. While I was there, the kind of the recon motivator, the Marine Recon motivator, was working at the Naval Hospital Corpsman. And they had just come out with a brand new pipeline. And that new pipeline was to become a reconnaissance corpsman, or what they were calling a special amphibious reconnaissance corpsman. Part of the reason I was looking for a break, just to back up a little bit, was I had hurt my back pretty bad a couple of years prior and just couldn't get over it. Like, it was just killing me. And I was, this will lead into another part of the story eventually, but I was essentially like a prescription drug addict for a couple of years because I'm just trying so hard to stay in the fight and not getting what I needed. The neurologist that I saw at Naval Hospital San Diego with my wife in the room would rather compliment me on the muscularity of my calves than actually help me. Yeah, it was that weird. Then actually help me get better. It was, I was just lost. And I was, at the time, any battalion surgeon that I had was just feeding me Percocet, which I think the military is getting better about that now, but at the time it was just kind of like, oh, you're in pain, we'll write your script for Percocet. And, you know, for me, being a guy who dealt with alcohol for a long time, you know, the best way to get Percocet to go down is with Jack Daniels. That's a problem. And it's not just a me problem. This is it's a real problem across the force. While I was on deployment, that deployment, it was so bad. I would go out on mission for a day, 2 days, 3 days. I remember I'd unclip my kit and I would drop it in my truck and I would go into medical, and my senior medic a couple of times would hook me up with Nubane and Phenergan just to get me relaxed enough so I could like sleep, take a breath, and my muscles would relax in my back and not be tightened up. I walk into the living room and my muscles just tightened up and I fell on the living room floor. And I just couldn't get up. I called my battalion surgeon at home and I was like, this is what just happened. I cannot move. I don't know what I'm going to do. And he's like, all right. You're not going to believe this, but he's like, I'll write you a prescription for Percocet. It's like, all right. But on this Monday morning, I drove there. I parked my car. I couldn't walk. I was on all fours, shorts, crawling across the parking lot, crawled through the front door, pulled myself up to the front desk. He had the MRI pulled up in his screen. He looked at me and was like, how long have you been dealing with this? You should have had surgery on this years ago. So my L5, L4, L5, L5, S1 completely collapsed. And essentially the discs were just pushing out through the foramen on all levels and squishing my spinal cord, obviously, and that's why I had conjunctival syndrome. And he was like, dude, what are you doing? Like, why are you here now? And I'm like, doc, I've been going to the doctor for 6 years. You tell me. What does it mean to have hope, especially hope in Christ? It means that you understand that you want the best for the people around you at all times. Like, I know where I'm going. I know Christ loves me, and that is what my hope is in, and I want that for my wife. I want my wife to have that same hope. I want my kids to have that same hope. I want these guys who I deployed with that have 8 TBIs and a bunch of PTSD and have seen horrible things and they've got alcohol problems and they've already ruined the marriage. I want them to have hope because I don't want them to take their own life today. I want them to know that God built them in His image for doing good works here and to do bigger things for the kingdom.